Interestingly, my mom was very artistic and a very musical person. She grew up with a beautiful singing voice and played violin in college. And so growing up, me and my 4 siblings, there was 5 of us kids, got a lot of really good music around the house. I fell in love with just the look of the electric guitar. I'd see, you know, somebody playing on TV, or I'd see pictures in a magazine, and I just thought it was, you know, even the Beatles, the way they looked, you know, they looked like a band, and, you know, John Lennon and George Harrison, just, you know, I just thought it looked cool. And I love the way the guitar, electric guitar, you know, looked. So I was drawn to that. And so by the time I was getting into my early teens and starting to really get into bands at the time, like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and even Kiss when they first started, I was really into the music, obviously, but I loved the guitar and the electric guitar. A loud, you know, hard rock kind of sound was really what I was into at the time. This is the Epiphone Electric Blue Les Paul. And I have to give Eric Singer, our drummer, our beloved drummer, a lot of credit, because on the guitars, Eric's been great with some ideas. So when I talked about doing a signature guitar, you know, he was there, and I asked him, you know, Eric, what do you think? You know, as far as what are some of the ideas that you might have? And he says, you should talk to this painter. His name's Johnny Douglas. And he is this really a fine painter, but he also does drums, drum finishes, and also guitar finishes. And he's done stuff for Aerosmith and Rush and Alex Van Halen and some other people. So I got in touch with this guy, Johnny Douglas, and just a great guy. And we finally got there and came up with this finish that, you know, we were all really super happy with. And it's, you know, it's a really a electric blue metallic finish, sparkle, but it's got an iridescent quality. So when you move it, you know, you get different tones and different colors that kind of reflect off that. So it looks great on stage because, you know, on a Kiss stage, something like this, you know, with the outfit and everything, it really projects. And of course, with all the chrome parts and hardware and everything, that reflects well. And it's a great Kiss guitar too. And it was funny because the other day we were on the Kiss cruise, and I had one of the prototypes with me. And, you know, Paul Stanley doesn't usually, you know, throw a compliment out there too much on guitars because, you know, of course, he does all the cool stuff, but he looked at it and he goes, "That's really cool." He goes, "Great job. It's, you know, it's a beautiful looking guitar." So I got props from Paul. So. On the Electric Blue Les Paul, the neck contours, it's more of a, you know, probably 58, 59 style neck. It's a little thicker than a 60s profile. And we've got Seymour Duncan JV pickups, which is what I've always used, both bridge and neck. As you can see, the bridge position is no cover on it, so you see the bobbins. And the cool thing is, these are blue bobbins on this pickup, and you just don't see that very often. When I was coming up with the idea for this guitar, and I was talking to the people at Epiphone, I said, you know, we should do an open pickup and make it blue. And I just threw it out there. I didn't know if you could do a blue pickup. I just kind of was thinking, you know, sky's the limit. So the prototype comes and it got a cool blue pickup, and so that's what it is. And of course, the blue, you know, top hat knobs, and it's all chrome, like I said before, including the pick guard, toggle, and Tommy Thayer truss rod cover. Then on the back, it's got my my John Hancock, little SpaceMan insignia, and it's a great guitar. These are, you know, they're affordable, but they really I play them on stage all the time. They sound, they sound like any great guitar show. Well, the great thing about being in KISS and putting out signature guitars is a lot of fans actually buy them just to collect. They might build a shadow box around it, because they'll sign it, and they just put it with their KISS collection with their other KISS guitars, and that's a lot of them. But there's, people. I think it's a good guitar for if somebody's starting to play guitar and they're kind of taking it to the next step where they want, a more professional instrument than whatever they start with. This is a good place to go because it is affordable. It's not a super expensive guitar, but again, the parts, it's got Seymour Duncan pickups. These are, Grover tuners, and how can you go wrong with all these great parts? It's a great sounding guitar, and it's all well put together. Well, it's interesting because I told you the story about when I went to buy that first guitar. My mom took me to American Music in Vancouver, Washington, and I walked in, and I was so impressed. Wow, look at those Les Pauls on the wall, and I'd only seen pictures of, great guitar heroes playing Les Pauls, and I thought, geez, look at those actual Les Pauls. I wonder if I'll ever have one day. So if somebody would have told me that, no, you're going to actually have your own several signature models at some point in your life, I never would have believed them. And, I grew up with Strutter and Deuce and, King of the Nighttime World, Detroit Rock City. They're all great. I love all those songs, and I get to play them quite regularly. But it's been amazing, but I'm sure as it winds down, when you getting down towards the end, I'm sure there will be a little bit of sadness in that, and this is the end of a hugely important band, and as far as the touring goes, so it'll be a little mixed, I'm sure. A celebration, but also a little sadness, I'm sure, because of all that we've done and the whole legacy and history of KISS. I mean, it's amazing. I'm very lucky, and I love what I do, and I get to get up on stage and live every kid's dream of being the lead guitarist in KISS. I mean, so I get to go up on stage and experience that every night in front of those kind of crowds, and it's just exhilarating. It's the adrenaline and everything that happens is just something that's almost indescribable. So that's what I love about it, is just that feeling about when you're getting ready to go on stage and the energy starts churning and you start getting a little bit of that adrenaline rush. It's just, and you're good at what you do, and that you're going to go up there and kick some butt. So it's, that's what I love about it.